We have some exciting news about Xbox and Bethesda. Their showcase is not going to just be one, but two parts of gaming to show off to fans around the community in a newly announced event post-show that they're going to be having after the June 12th Xbox Bethesda Showcase. There's too much to contain in just one segment in one 90-minute showcase. They needed another one, so we have that to look forward to. Also, Geoff Keighley warning fans and gamers to temper their expectations ahead of the June 9th showcase, so that's pretty interesting. We're going to get into both of these stories, but before we do, if you're new here, consider subscribing and let me know your thoughts. How about a small channel? Comment below what you think about the upcoming Summer Games Fest or Xbox Bethesda Showcase. I know there's a lot of discussion of people saying that this needs to be a win for Microsoft because it's been a completely dry 2022. So let me know what you're thinking down below. The most exciting bit of information that we're going to be dropping into today is an official reveal, which makes it more exciting. It's not some rumor or some leak. Officially revealed from Xbox Wire, a news post published earlier today that reads as follows. In a little less than a week, gamers across the globe will come together to watch the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, featuring the latest on games from Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, and our partners from around the world. This show will include everything you want to know about the gaming lineup coming to Xbox and PC, including upcoming releases on Xbox Game Pass, and more. Wherever in the world you may be, if you have a screen and internet access, you'll be able to join in on our biggest moment of 2022 so far. Now, how about some specifics? The post then continues on to explain where and when to watch the showcase, right? It's going to, of course, be on Bethesda and Xbox's official Twitch and YouTube channels, among several other places you could tune in. Some accessibility features, some co-streaming information, which, sorry to my consistent viewers, but I do have to just say I will be streaming on June 12th. So, don't worry about those bigger channels. There's plenty of people going to be tuning into them. They won't notice if you're gone. Come to a smaller channel. I will appreciate every single one of you. Skipping ahead more to the interesting bits and the main focus of today's video, which is where they ask, will there be an extended show? Yes, they answer. Stay tuned for the Xbox Games Showcase extended on June 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, where we will share new trailers, take deeper look at the news from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, and speak with some of your favorite game creators. This all-new broadcast is approximately 90 minutes in length. With 2022 being mostly barren for Xbox, that means everything we have to look forward to is coming in 2023. So a lot of fans were wondering, is it possible for Microsoft to shove in all of these titles in just one showcase? Bethesda alone can carry an entire show with titles like Redfall, Starfield, Indiana Jones, maybe some remasters which get brought up and speculated about every single year. There's some other secret projects in the works as well coming from other studios, maybe some Fallout 76 updates. That is a meaty showcase. Now you're lumping in all of the Microsoft stuff too? It probably wouldn't be possible, especially if Bethesda wanted to give an extended 20-minute look, 30-minute look to Starfield that many are saying isn't going to happen. Hellblade 2, Avowed, maybe Fable 4, Stalker 2, of course some indie games like Somerville. You have an incredibly loaded showcase, and adding an extra 90 minutes to the show is a big deal. A lot of us, myself included, were wondering and crossing our fingers that we would get that full 30-minute glimpse into Starfield the way they did with Skyrim and Fallout 4 in the past. And it seemed more unlikely, especially with the delay that we recently had for Starfield, but now it's more likely than it was before. And I have to say, it's a really smart move on Xbox's part to stretch some of this stuff out. That way you can have the deeper looks. Fans these days are getting more and more tired, especially with the delays that Xbox have seen of getting only glimpses, only teases, and not much substance to some of these gameplay reveals. But now when you allow them to have these post-show interviews that are done that people can still tune into for the live event, and of course capture video on demand, it's a perfect opportunity to really explore the titles that fans are interested in while still allowing some of those smaller games that maybe are a little bit further off or that maybe don't have as much to show. It allows them to still have a pretty tangible spotlight amongst juggernauts such as Avowed and Starfield. Some of you might remember remember that Microsoft actually had a post show last year as well. It didn't go over that great. A lot of fans determined that it wasn't really exciting. It was pretty boring because Microsoft simply didn't have as much to show. But now when we're coming into this stacked 2023 for Xbox games, there's a lot more on the table. Hopefully any stigma that people have, they've been feeling, they're maybe not excited about this, will be wiped away just due to the sheer amount of content that Microsoft can show off. Specifically, some of these interviews with the AAA developers, some of the interviews with the more anticipated titles like a Fable 4, like a Hellblade, like an Avowed, Starfield, of course, with Todd Howard, those are a lot more exciting, I think, for fans to sit down and watch, leading to an all-around better show, albeit one that's slower paced if they're taking those extended looks. On to our next bit of news. We might have to wait until Sunday for the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, but at least we can still see some amazing reveals from Geoff Keighley's kickoff show on June 9th, right? Wrong! That's a stupid idea, and you should be ashamed of yourself for having thought it. Not actually, but Geoff Keighley himself is warning fans to set their expectations, something that we know gamers can let get out of control, something that we know can become toxic, but it's just because we love games so much, isn't it? Geoff Keighley recently hosted a Twitter space where he had a Q&A with some fans, and at one point, it had come up that the show's primary focus will be on existing or already announced games, things such as Gotham Knights, the Callisto Protocol, Call of Duty Modern Warfare was confirmed, Cuphead, and some others, but little will be there on shocking or brand new gameplay reveals, at least in regards to what some people are speculating.
What I would say is that a lot of the games we're going to show you are going to be announced games. Are going to show kind of new content to you, like some of the ones I just mentioned. We've got a couple new game announcements in the show for you, and hopefully some surprises if everything holds. But it definitely is a show that's primarily focused on stuff that is announced. And I always talk to people about last year where Elden Ring was a big moment in the show, but that was an announced game that just showed new footage. And sometimes people treat that like it was the announcement of the game, but it really was announced a few years earlier. So we're gonna have some good stuff for you, but definitely manage your expectations in terms of the kind of megaton shocks that you're expecting. This is not the Game Awards, and we've got lots of good stuff to show you, but buyer beware of some of the crazy rumors I'm seeing out there in terms of things people expect to get announced.
There's definitely still reason to get excited, however. A lot of announced games or projects we might not have seen gameplay for yet, so in some ways, these reveals can feel like we're seeing the game truly for the first time. And this is something that Geoff Keighley actually points out in his interview. He mentions how Elden Ring's gameplay premiere felt special to a lot of fans, how it felt like the first time they were seeing the game, because in some ways it really was. Take a look at a game like the Callisto Protocol, a project that I'm incredibly excited for, and we just recently saw a very beautifully made in-game or gameplay trailer for the Callisto Protocol, and yet if now we can see a longer gameplay showcase, something that really dives in depth in real time, you get to see how the game plays and flows and the combat, that's something where I can visually see almost for the first time getting my look at the game, and that can be equally as exciting as a brand new reveal for a lot of people. It's worth mentioning that Geoff Keighley in previous tweets had talked about how he's particularly pleased with the amount of raw gameplay that's going to be shown at Summer Games Fest on June 9th. There's still trailers, but some really good extended gameplay sequences to be shown off as well, which is what fans are hoping for. That's what most people want to see. It's cool to get a trailer, and trailers certainly get me hyped, but what really sells me on a game, whether or not it's something I want to look more into, is when we do get that in-depth gameplay reveal. Compound that with the fact that, say, EA Play Live isn't actually happening this 2022, so anything that EA might want to show off probably going to be appearing here, so there's going to be a wide variety, a lot of diversity in the games that we show. I think over 30 studios are set to participate. It's probably going to be a good showcase, and then of course, in just a couple days after that, there's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days later until the Xbox Bethesda event as well, and there's some things in between that, I think some indie stuff going on, so a lot of gaming excitement this summer. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, I hope to see you all next time. So long, everybody.